Hi everyone, it's Helga. Today we are going to create this luxurious pearl bag together. It looks like it's straight out of a high-end designer campaign. It seems absolutely flawless, but the great news is that you can easily recreate it with your own hands. In this video, I'll show you the complete, detailed, step-by-step process from the very first row to attaching the handle and hardware. Don't worry about the scale of the project. I've broken down the entire masterclass into super simple, clear steps so you can weave at your own comfortable pace. You can absolutely do this even if it's your first bag. We're using standard 8mm acrylic pearl beads today, and you'll just need around 1,700 beads to complete this piece. For the line, I highly recommend using a clear fishing line that is 0.5 or 0.6 millimeters thick. Mine is a bit thinner today, but I wanted to film this tutorial for you so badly. Cut a comfortable working length of line, about 5 feet long. String your first 4 beads and center them on the line. Take one end of the line and pass it back through the last bead to form a small loop. Thread the other end of the line right through this loop and pull it tight. Make sure to tug that resulting knot directly into the center of the bead. There we go. Our very first cross is complete. Now string 2 beads onto the left line and 1 bead onto the right line. Take the line with the 2 beads and pass it back through the outer bead to create a loop. Slip the other line through this loop and pull it tight. Hiding the knot inside the bead again. Our second cross is done. For the third cross, we repeat the process. 2 beads on the left, 1 on the right, loop through the side with 2. Pull the other line through and secure the knot inside the bead. Repeat these steps until you have a total of 16 crosses. Now, we're going to turn to start the second row. To do this, string 3 beads onto one side of the line, form a loop in the last bead, and thread the other line through it. Let's begin row 2. Keep your weaving in the exact same position as mine. On the top line, string 3 beads and make a loop through the last bead. Thread the bottom line through this loop and pull it tight. Now take the left end of the line and pass it downward through the closest bead from our previous row. Next, add 2 beads to the right side and make a loop in the outer bead. Pass the left line through the loop and tighten it firmly. Then pass that left line downward through the next closest bead of the previous row. Add 2 more beads to the right side. Form a loop. Pull the left line through. Tighten it and guide the left line down into the next bead. Continue moving down the row by adding 2 beads at a time. This is the foundation of our second row. Let me quickly show you what to do if you're running out of line. First, let's hide these working ends. Tighten your last cross. Then weave the ends through the adjacent beads so they meet up right next to each other. Tie a loop knot, making sure the other end of the line stays inside the loop, and pull that knot securely into the bead. To make it extra secure, weave a bit further and tie another knot in a different bead. Pull the lines tight and clip off the excess. Cut a fresh piece of line, thread it through the beads where you left off, and even out the ends. At the end of the second row, here is how we turn into row 3. In this position, string 2 beads onto the left line and form a loop in the last bead. Pass the other line through the loop. For convenience, flip your beadwork upward. Row 3 is exactly like row 2. First, add 3 beads to the top line, loop through the last one, and pass the other line through. Once tightened, guide the left line down into the closest bead from the previous row. Then add 2 beads to the right side, loop them, tighten, and guide the left line down into the next base bead. Keep weaving 2 beads at a time all the way to the end of the row. At the end of the third row, string 2 beads onto the left side to turn. Flip the panel upward again and keep building your rows. Quick tip here, you need to pull each cross really tight, which can make your fingers a bit sore. To make it way more comfortable, put some adhesive bandages on your fingers before you start. Your productivity will skyrocket. We keep adding rows until we have a total of 27 rows. This gives us a finished main panel of 17 by 27 crosses. Now count 11 crosses in from each side and fold the panel over. The 5 crosses left in the middle will form the flat bottom of our bag. Next, we are going to weave the side panels to close the bag. In this position, take a new piece of line and thread it through the 2 corner beads. Even out the ends. Add 2 beads to the top line and form a loop in the outer bead. Pass the bottom line through this loop and tighten. Now, thread that bottom line to the right, through the nearest bead of the bag's bottom panel. Once again, add 2 beads to the top line, loop it, pass the bottom line through, and tighten. Guide the bottom line to the right into the next bottom bead. Repeat this step 2 more times. At this point, besides passing through the bottom bead, guide your line upward through the adjacent side bead as well. Add just 1 bead to either end of the line, form a loop, and pass the other line through. Once tightened, thread the right line upward into the next closest bead. Now, we do the exact same thing but move in the opposite direction. Add 2 beads to the top line and pass through the closest bead to the left from our previous row. At the end of the row, connect it to the side bead and add 1 final bead. Continue this way to fill the entire side space all the way to the top. Then, repeat the exact same process on the other side of the bag. The main body structure is complete. Take the side panel and pinch it neatly inward like this. Let's secure it at the top. Grab a new piece of line with one bead already strung onto it. Thread the ends of the line upward into the third beads from the top edge. Add another bead using a loop. Guide the ends upward through the next closest beads. Add another bead and guide the ends up again. Finally, add one last bead through a loop. This gives us a neat vertical post of 4 beads, which is exactly where we'll build our handle. We'll weave in a circle around this cross. Add 3 beads to one side of the line and make a loop. Pull the other line through. Once tightened, pass the bottom line into the closest bead of the row below. Add 2 beads to the top line, loop it, and pull the other line through. Pass the bottom line into the next lower bead. Repeat this one more time. Passing through the last bottom bead and connecting it back to the beginning of the row. Add 1 bead through a loop to close the round. To continue building the handle column, repeat the process. 3 beads to start the row, loop, weave down. Add 2 beads, loop, and finally close the round with 1 bead. Keep going until your handle reaches the desired length. Do the identical steps on the other side of the bag. Let's quickly jump into making the top flap while the sun is still hitting the frame beautifully. Count to the 4th bead from the back edge and thread a new piece of line through it. Start by adding 3 beads to the left side through a loop. Once tightened, guide the bottom line to the right through the next bead. From here, keep adding 2 beads per cross, just like we did for the main bag panel. Do this for 10 crosses. On the 11th cross, we turn by adding 2 beads to the left side. Start the next row by adding 3 beads to the right side. And then continue with 2 beads per cross all the way down. Build this top flap for a total of 9 rows. Now let's get back to the handles. We need a total of 21 rows combined from the left and right sides. Leave the working line on just one side so we can sew the 2 handle pieces together. Add 1 bead to each line, then pass the ends in opposite directions through the corresponding bead on the opposite handle piece. Bring the lines out to position them for the next full cross. Let me flip it around so you can see it better. Add 1 bead, crossing the lines through it. Thread the ends downward to form the next cross. And add 1 final bead, crossing the lines through it. This locks the handles into a perfect cross pattern. Give this entire connection joint an extra pass with your line to make it super strong. outro and hardware touch, everything is fully secured. Now I'm going to add some hardware. This part is completely optional because the bag looks absolutely gorgeous on its own. I'm going to attach a classic chain strap using these two removable gate rings, spring rings. Just clip them onto the sides of the bag and hook on the chain. Oh, and let me show you this amazing find. This isn't specifically made for this bag, but you can easily find a felt purse organizer insert that matches your bag's dimensions. It fits right inside and instantly makes the bag so much more functional. If you loved this tutorial and found it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!